The drums of Ukuta beat joyously as Adanne, the fairest maiden in the land, became the wife of Ogbuefi Nnamdi, the village's most respected hunter. The village square overflowed with laughter and dancing. Adanne's smile glowed brighter than the afternoon sun as elders poured libations and children sang songs of blessing. But not all eyes gleamed with joy. Under the ancient baobab tree, Mama Ekeoma, the oldest woman in the village and keeper of forgotten secrets, muttered under her breath. She had seen the same signs years ago before Nnamdi's father. Mysterious deaths. She put Adanne aside. The shadow works again, child, she said in a hushed voice. Nnamdi's blood carries a curse, one that consumes its own. Adanne, though shaking, dismissed the old woman's words as the paragnon of the aged. She returned to the celebration, unaware that the owl that hooted twice above her hut that night had marked her fate. 7 moons passed before death struck. Nnamdi did not return from the forest. Hunters found his body ripped apart, with no animal tracks nearby. The elders declared it an act of the gods, but whispers spread. Nnamdi's family turned on Adanne. She brought death upon him. He is his brother, Ikenna. She is a witch. Stripped of her red coral beads and driven from the family compound, Adanne was cast out. She found shelter in a crumbly hut near the village shrine, a place shunned by all. Her cries at night echoed through the air, chilling even the bravest warrior. The children called her Onya Jo Nwunye, the cursed widow. Adanne tried to rebuild her life, but the hut hates horrors. Whispers haunted the night. Objects moved without cause. One evening, ashes rained from the ceiling, then came the eyes. She lighted a lantern and peered closely at the wall. The red, glowing eyes stared back. Her scream echoed through the forest. Digging into the cracked mud, she unearthed a small fetish, a bundle wrapped in a red thread and bound with what appeared to be human teeth. That night, a voice whispered from the dark, "She watches, she waits." So Adanne remembered stories of Uwulu, Nnamdi's stepmother, known for her strange ways. She had once been shunned for attempting to invoke forbidden spirits. Now her presence loomed large. Villagers avoided her compound, but her clay jar with a carved human face was known to all. The whispering jar, they called it, once cursed, your soul echoes within. Elder Ijoma told Adanne that fetish is Nwulu's mark. She cursed your womb so Nnamdi would leave no heir. She feared your beauty. The truth shook Adanne. The curse was not born of faith but of envy and dark magic. Determined to fight back, Adanne journeyed to the river Oji Ula at midnight. The river goddess was known to grant justice to the wronged. She offered her last wedding coral necklace and prayed. As the river shimmered under the moonlight, it turned red. Blood flowed upstream. A scream echoed from Nwulu's compound. By dawn, Nwulu's only son lay writhing in pain, skin breaking into breath. Vultures hovered over their roof. The villagers grew fearful. They whispered, "Adanne has called upon the gods." Nwulu, enraged, accused Adanne of witchcraft. A village meeting was called. Adanne was seized and dragged to the square. Nnamdi's brother, fueled by guilt and shame, led the charge. Adanne knelt, bleeding and bruised, just as Ikenna raised his machete to deliver the final blow. Thunder cracked. A drum, untouched, began to beat at the shrine. The crowd froze. "The gods speak," cried the high priest. The elders halted the execution. Something deep stirred beneath the surface. That night, a sacred white ram escaped the shrine and entered Adanne's hut. It stood still and bleated once before disappearing into the wall. The next morning, elders declared the omen clear. Adanne was cursed but chosen. The villagers trembled, unsure whether to rejoice or fear. Mama Ekelma smiled faintly. The shadow does not cling to her. It flees. Adanne marched to Nwulu's shrine, armed with herbs and chants taught by Mama Ekeoma. The battle of spirit begins. Nwulu summoned her jar. Whispers filled the air, souls screamed from within. Adanne poured sanctified ash upon it. The jar cracked. Nwulu aged in seconds, her flesh shriveling. The jar exploded in a burst of flame. The shrine collapsed. Nwulu was no more. Still, Village demanded proof of her purity. The trial of fire was invoked. Walking barefoot across hot coals, Adanne stepped onto the flames. Not a single burn made her feet, but Nnamdi's brothers, merely watching, burst into blisters and screamed. The gods had judged. Guilt had branded. They were cast out. Adanne became the spiritual guardian of Ukuta. She lived alone but revered. She buried the ashes of the whispering jar beneath the Baobab tree, where Nnamdi once proposed. Peace returned, yet on windless night, soft whispers still float beneath the tree. Adanne listens, knowing some curses are never fully erased, but she no longer fears. She rules, and the shadows obey.
Please subscribe, follow this account, like, comment, and share. Thank you.